Okay, good evening. Just on the dot of the hour, it's a great privilege to see another Sunday evening. This is a program that comes to you from the stable of Rich Vision, talking about, we look at facing life issues, facing challenges. How do we meet every time like this? Just to drop one or two words that be a kind of form of encouragement to somebody, because the current world in which we are living in, just a single word can turn the life of a person around. A word can change your world. And we've made it a point of duty to bring this broadcast to you every time, just to ensure that we all have the winning mindset. It is a known fact that the season in which we are, what we are going through, we've never been in this situation before. You know, somebody was saying something. He said, you know, after this COVID-19, when everything goes back to normal, I said, normal has a new meaning. There's what you call new normal. It's not going to be the normal thing. Normal is not the normal you used to know. Normal is going to be different. And how do you prepare for it? We've never been in this situation before. We've never had cause to sit at home like this before. We've never had cause to have so much uncertainty in the air before. We've come to a situation where we cannot even say what is going to happen next. What is the government going to say? What you are trying to listen to is, how many people died? Imagine, can you imagine the kind of news that we are expecting now? How many people have caught the virus? How many people died? Never has it been before in the period of the world that we've been like this before, at least in this generation. But then here we are. It is here with us. But we got to live and, above all this. As a matter of fact, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, this has affected different persons in life, in business, in marriage, in a lot of things. Some marriages will never be the same. Some marriages are better for it now. Some businesses will never be the same. Some businesses will not come back again. After COVID-19, after this pandemic period, some business will just stop to exist. Some organizations will just stop to exist, while some organizations will just start to build, and some people will just start to discover themselves. We are here together, and I believe together we will win this war. I help you, you help me. We are here together, and we are going to win the war together. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are welcome to this talk session. Your friend and partner, Olushola Pokuola, chartered accountant, investment advisor, and also a life coach. Over the period, this is going to be the part 2 on this, where we're talking about we talked about, okay, let me see. Okay, where we talked about, we're talking about how to face and overcome. Is one thing to face, is another thing to overcome. It's not everybody that face a situation that overcome it. Trust me, it's not everybody that face a situation that overcome it. But how do you face this situation? Yours might be different. Each one of us have his or her own challenge. As a matter of fact, challenges are those things that makes the world go round. Challenges are those things that make us tick. Challenges are the things that brings the best out of us. There was a time, a guy, they call him David. It was when he faced the challenge of a man called Goliath that his star began to shine. I tell you, many persons will not shine until they're able to face the challenge in their life. Now, the way you face the challenge is what will determine how successful you are, how successful you are going to be. And the last time I just tried to define or describe or whatever, talk about the word challenge. Let me just go ahead and bring up this screen, talking about facing and winning life challenges. Facing and winning life challenges. Okay, we are live on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. So let's go. You can tag your friends, get them on it. So facing and overcoming life and business challenges. The other time we were just trying to describe difference between challenge and problem. You know, there was a time some of my, you know, when these words, the use of words, the word of using the word challenge and using the word problem. Somebody say, problem is problem, Joe. Problem is problem. Which one is challenge? And let's call what it is now. But you got to understand something. You know, being positive-minded, you say the difference between a challenge and a problem is that while a challenge is a demanding task, I want you to please note each word. A challenge is a demanding task that an individual wishes to overcome. You wish to overcome it. You don't wish to die there. You don't wish to let it continue like that. The marriage is having a problem, and the situation in the marriage can either be a problem or it can be a challenge. If it's a problem, that's how it is. There's nothing good that can come out of this marriage. I've even signed off. See, let God just patch us together and let's go, and then all of us will go our way. That's a problem because the willpower to change it is not there. That is the problem. That is a problem. But when you have the pain, fine. It is not okay between I and my spouse, I and my children or something, but I am committed that whatsoever it takes, I'm going to get out of it. Then you see it as a challenge. Now, a problem is something that is difficult to deal with or understand that hinders the progress of the individual. When you face a problem in life, you can't go ahead. It stops you on your track. So you must rightly look at the situation you are facing. You must rightly look at the situation you are facing and define it. Once you can define it, is half solved. Define it. Is it a problem or a challenge? A wise man once said, God, give me the serenity. Give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The courage to change the things that I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, you listening to me. If you pick this word, I want you to write it out. This word has always helped me over the years. This word that I just told you now, it has always helped me over the years. Because, let me say it again, so maybe you didn't get it. God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The wisdom, the courage to change the things that I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in your life that you call challenges that you could handle. When you say the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Okay, this is a mobile phone. It is black in color. Can I change it? Somebody is saying, no, you can't. I say, well, I accept it. I can't change it. But you know, deep thinking can make me look, oh, I can go and change the casing now to white. I can change the casing to this. Now, but somebody just said, the manufacturer made it black. You can't change it. So now, the things that you cannot change, your age, you can't change your age. Although I know some people when they want to travel or they are in offices, they don't want to be, they say, I am, the person is 60 years old. You say, I'm 50, I'm 40. Even though you are lying about your age, Your body is telling you the truth. When they now say, let's do exercise, and 40 years old are jumping and you with your 70-year-old inside and 40 years out, you'll be saying, you start breathing. They know that, oh no, this man is not there. So you can't change that. You can't change that. Now, can I accept? God, give me the serenity to be able to accept this fact. Now, the courage to change the things that I can. There are some situations that you are facing now that you can change. You can change it. You can change it. I gave an instance some times ago about when I got married, and I always look at my wife, I said, there's nothing that can ever make me to quarrel with my wife. As the time I married, in my life, I felt I was marrying the most beautiful woman in the world. I was marrying the most, a woman that's very great character. And I felt, what can ever make me quarrel with her? But I said, just a year into the wedding, just a year into the wedding. When you are talking courtship is different. When you are married, you now begin to experience some new things. And a quarrel came between us that it was so bad between us for almost a month or two. We were living under the same house. We were not talking to ourselves. When we sleep on the bed, this one faces the north, this one faces the south. And when visitors come, oh my God, the two of us will sit down. Oh, how are you? Oh, this. And we were supposed to be children of God, so to say, born again people. But then inside us, after the visitor leaves, oh, everybody to your tent, oh, Israel. And it was so bad. To a point I was saying, come, let's just let this thing go. This thing is not working within us. Let's just let it go. It was a big problem. It was a problem. And I felt there was no solution to it because she's not going to come down from her high horse. I was not going to let down and let go. But then, when I read a book, and it was talking about, don't blame the other partner. You take responsibility. That as a person, as a man, responsibility. It's a responsibility is your ability to respond. Your responsibility. Your responsibility. Please write that down. I know it's not in the dictionary like that. Responsibility literally means your responsibility. My responsibility to the situation on ground. I now decided that, okay, let me take it in another different way. But you know what? When we began to talk about the thing, my wife traveled, and I made up my mind, when she comes back, everything's going to be okay. We are going to settle. And when she came back, I went to pick her up. And in the car, I smiled, trying to welcome. And when you are smiling and you are trying to make things up, and the other person just say, Akule, bone the fish. Oh my God. With the excitement that, maybe the time of difference will have, oh my God, the anger came afresh again. But it was in the course of the night. We dropped each other, this. Did you eat when I was not? No, that was not even in the question. We sat down. We lay down in the night and we slept. The same facing north, facing south. Then I woke her up in the night. I said, come, my dear. Come, wake up. Let's even talk this thing over. Even if it's somebody that is affecting us, should we affect ourselves? In the Yoruba, like they say, if it's somebody, we say, come, what is that problem? She now began to say, after much persuasion, I say, come, I have made up my mind that I will not have a broken marriage. And then she now began to tell me, oh, you remember what you said, so and so time, and so. I can't even remember that thing again. I couldn't remember. He said, you said so, and I took it and this is what you meant. I said, I never meant it like that. After that night, we were able to settle it. And I began to ask myself, supposing we did not settle this, if somebody has asked us, why did you people separate? Is this the reason we would have given? The courage It took a lot of courage for me to be able to calm down, to say, okay, I'm the man, but this, I don't want to lose my home. It took a lot of courage. The serenity to accept the things you cannot change. The courage to change. The courage to change. What is that situation that you are going through? The courage to change the things you can. And then the wisdom to know the difference between what is a problem and what is a challenge. The wisdom. So God, give me that wisdom so that things that I can change, I will just give up and say, oh, no, there's nothing I can do about it. Who said there's nothing you can do? They said before, they will say, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Before, they will say nothing. Now they will say, if the righteous can pray. Do you understand? So you've got to look at what are the things that I call challenge. You want to sit down in the real sense of it, sit down in your life, and you want to look at what are those things that I've called challenge. And it's defined that challenge is a verb and it's derived from the Latin word meaning to accuse falsely. To accuse falsely. I did not understand this. I had to go into the dictionary to go and check up the meaning of this. I went online to check, and it's still used much in this 13th. It was used in the 13th century, and we still use it. Now, that I love when I saw that word, that to accuse falsely. Okay, what's the challenge? Oh, my children are not doing well. That is the challenge. That is a false accusation. That is not the truth. That is not the truth. Oh, what is it? I have a challenge. I can't pay my children's school fees. I have a challenge. I can't pay my house rent. Yes, that is what false. But there's a truth. As long as you have it that this is a challenge, everything has to do with how you perceive it, your perception of the situation. Your perception of the situation will define whether it is a challenge or it is a problem. Your perception of the situation will define whether it is a challenge or it is a problem. Now, having understood this, we now said for you to talk about the way you perceive things, your perception, it has a lot to do with your mentality. Your mentality. Your mentality is the totality of you. We are talking about solving life challenges, facing and solving life challenges, business or otherwise. Now, your mentality of a situation, we say a mentality is the way of thinking, the way you are thinking, or the ability to think and learn. If someone says you have a mentality of a kindergarten, that's great if you're in the kindergarten. But if you're an adult and somebody says you have a mentality of the kindergarten, that is saying you are not immature. You are not thinking very well. So quickly, let's look at what mentality is. And I put it to you today that whatsoever you are watching me right now, the way you are perceiving what I am saying. Oh, some will say, oh, is it doing this thing for commercial purpose? Is it saying this thing so that he can make money with it? It's your mentality that will define what I'm saying. Some will say, oh, I've been desiring this kind of word. It's your mentality that will determine what you're perceiving. What are you saying me? What I'm saying. Everything that goes in and around you, it's based on your mentality. The way you think, it said, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. And as he continues to think, so he will continue to be. That's why we say we are what? Human being. B-E-I-N-G. Human being. Human being. What you are being, you continue to be. As you continue to think, as you are thinking, that's how you are being. Did you get that? Being. As you are thinking, that's how you are being. We are human being. Nobody is human static. We are always being something. As you think, as your thinking changes, the way what you are going to do. There was a time that some things were wrong in your eyes. There was a time that the way you think, the way you perceive some things, you say, no, 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 no. How can you be? There was a time that somebody bought a shoe then, a shoe. And he told me he bought the shoe for 5,000 naira, some years ago. In my mind, I say, 5,000 naira shoe, 5,000 naira. Does he want to be walking in the air with the 5,000 naira shoe? That's so expensive. Why would somebody be so wasteful to buy 5,000 naira shoe? But then as time, that was based on where I was coming from. That's where I was coming from. But as my mentality began to change, now if you give me a gift of a sandal, let me say sandal. I remember buying a sandal not quite long. The sandal was about 15,000 naira for a sandal. But in me before, we go shoe 5,000. But if I'd criticized somebody before, now I have a different mentality. So when we talk about mentality, there are some words that you will pick out of mentality, which the first one is the word me. The word me, M-E. Look at this. The first word is me. So your mentality is first of all defined by you. How you perceive something is dependent on who you have grown yourself to be. Who are you? In that marriage, who are you? What is the mentality you took into that marriage? What is the mentality you took into that business? Some of us, the me in us is me, myself, and I. Some of us are so self-centered. Some of us are so selfish. Everything is just about me. So when I go into that business in partnership, and everything I want is what I say that I want to be the final. It's about me. Everything should just be about me. In this marriage, I'm the one that is cheated. In this business, I'm the one that is not treated well. In this relationship, I've always seen things from my own self, based on how I grew up and my mentality. Me. So what you are will make a lot of difference. And I tell you, there's nobody that has been created not to be able to change his attitude and character. Attitude is, they say your attitude will determine your attitude. We are talking about me. What is your attitude to that marriage? What is their attitude to that relationship? What is your attitude to that business? So before you say you are having a challenge in your business, look at what mentality do you have about that business. Now, talking about me, your me is your mind. If you have not listened to that program, we're still going to be talking about using your subconscious mind to achieve your goal. If you have not been able to address your mind, as you're listening to me, you have there's what we call the power of your mind. The power of your mind. 80% of people living on the surface of the earth will go to their grave without understanding the power of the mind. Only very few, maybe 15% will understand it, but about only 5% will be able to use it. 80% will not even understand it. Out of the 20% that understand it, about 15% of them will just understand it, but only about 5% of them will be able to use it. These 5% are the ones that will control their world. I want you to be among the 5% that will have control of the world. Have the control by understanding the power of your mind. Whichever thing that you are going through, it is in your mind. It is in your mind. It said, the mind of a man is so deep. The man of a mind is so, God even said, he said, the heart of man is desperately wicked, who can know it? And as wicked as the mind of man is, the mind of man also is good. And your mind will determine how you will react. Ladies and gentlemen, you might not understand, but let me quickly give you an analogy. I remember way back in school, I went to a kind of semi-military school, command secondary school way back then. And then, the military guys, at times you are late for assembly, every one of us lie down, And then, it's in these days, they don't flog children again in schools and things. But that time, on the assembly, you are being flogged. And I don't know whether it has happened to you. I don't know whether it happened to you. When it's getting to your turn, you just make up your mind that this thing will not pay me. And you stay like this. And they will give you pow, 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 6 strokes of the cane, no shaking. And you go. And people will say, hey, in my school, then they will say, Paco, Paco. And, they start hailing you. And then you go. Especially, maybe it's the girls are somewhere at the corner there. And maybe your girlfriend is, the one that, I think there we call them crush. The one that is crush. That one is around the corner there. Oh, my God. Even the ordinary, this same you, if they give you one stroke of the cane in the hostel, you start rolling. But because you make up your mind, ladies and gentlemen, the real you is your mind. Now, what makes you to react like that? Look at one situation. Your girlfriend is there. You took the cane without cry. Now nobody is there. You cry and things. It's your mind. So, in a relationship or in business, I face a business challenge. I can go over this challenge based on the way I structure my mind. And that is why you must be careful who you listen to. I've done it in some other training. These are things we continue to say every time. That the way you build your mind, you see, let me give you this. I was listening to a pastor this morning, and he was talking about this pandemic situation. Look at this man called Noah. Noah, the Bible made us, so they said the man lived about 600 years. 600 years is no joke. In 600 years, he will have built houses. In 600 years, he will have done a lot of things. Then, after that 600 years, when he was told to build the ark, building the ark took about 125 years to build. When you are reading these stories, it's as if chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Building the ark took about 125 years. So you are talking about this man was about 720 something years before he went into the ark. Now, when he went into the ark, when the rain began to fall and everything, that means everything he had, he lost. Because after the pandemic period that the man faced, he lost everything, business and everything. He lost family, he lost everything. Do you know that man, before the pandemic, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, before the pandemic, this man was said to be a righteous man. God found him to be the only righteous man on the surface of the earth. But after the pandemic, loneliness, there are a lot of things that will come. Why we are saying this thing now, why we are taking this teaching now, is that to prepare us for the challenges that will come. You are not facing a challenge now, some may come. I myself talking, challenges that will come. How am I prepared for it? This man was not prepared for the challenge. He went straight into alcoholism. He began to drink. That he became so drunk one day that he even slept naked. And his children were looking at it. He placed a curse on one of his child. If it was not the pandemic, if it was not the COVID-19 of those days, maybe he wouldn't be in that situation. But he was not mentally prepared. But let's look at another man. They call that man Job. He faced a period of pandemic. He faced a serious challenge. When you read that story, it was just as if the thing happened in 2-3 days. His suffering was about 9 months. All the things that he went through was about 9 months. But do you know what? In the midst of it, this man was saying, even though he slay me, even though God is killing me, yet will I trust in him. But even as he was holding on to his faith, some people still came. The wife told him, he said, you better curse God and die. Do you know why God, devil did not kill the wife because he wanted to use the wife as an instrument to torture him. You better curse God and die. What are you waiting for? And things. Then she wants to discourage him. She wants to talk against him. When the man of God was teaching this, he taught it to, but I had to sit down and I was ruminating on this thing. I began to look deeper into it. I began to look at it that it's true. The woman was there. Your best friends, your relations, even though you are holding on that I will not break down in the face of this challenge. The people that are close to you, it could be the wife, it could be the husband, that will tell you, come, let's really come, all this challenge, we better face the fact of this thing, we can't continue like this. We better, and then by the time you face it, the friends came, they began to say, and at a point, the man became weak. And he began to say, I caused the day I was born. See, they say, it's you that have not seen problem, you will call yourself a man. Only in my, permit me to use it, they say, any teacher or that's in my own local dialect, is a man that has not faced challenge. That will say, I'm a man. When you face a challenge, years ago, when I faced some challenges in my life, there are some set of people that I think that normally I will not relate with and things. But when my friend told me, he said, Shola, there's a woman that can pray for you and, concerning this problem and things. I said, where is she? I had to go and meet. When I went to meet this woman, ordinarily, this person, I was looking at her, by God's grace, I'm a preacher of the gospel. I preach the word of God. I evangelize and things. This is somebody that I would have loved to evangelize to. Now, because I had challenges, I had to go and sit down and let this person talk to me. When the person was talking to me, I was in my mind. I said, Shola, how did you get to this level? Ladies and gentlemen, so when I hear that people are going through challenges, I sit down. I try to read it to them. Don't blame somebody. Oh, why did he go to do this? He shouldn't have done this. No, if it's me. No, it's not you. 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 When you face it, it's a different ball game. So that is why it is important to have the right mindset to prepare yourself. That's why the people you are listening to matter so much. Who are the people you are listening to? So it helps you to build your mind. He said, let this mind be in you. Let this mind be in you as it is in Christ Jesus. What is the mind that Christ Jesus had? That is the mind that I want to be in me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is difficult to have that mind in the face of challenge. It is difficult to begin to build your mind. The power of the mind in the face of challenge is difficult. You better build that mind now before the challenge comes. They said, is what the bird has eaten that the bird will use to fly. Build that mind. What are you listening to? They are the things that should strengthen and bring the muscle of your mind. Build the muscles of your mind. Me is very important. And everything starts with your mind. The next thing is the men that are around you. Who are the men that are around you? Who do you surround yourself with? Who are the people you surround yourself with? Are they negative people? There are some people that they are so negative that if you put them, if you put a picture in the room with their eye, the picture will be printed. You remember that those days we have negative. I get it. So you must, as consciously now, you must get off what you call toxic relationship. There are some relationships that are toxic. They are not helping you in any way. They always talk about problems. They will always come and complain about his wife. He will complain about his husband. He will complain about his boss. He will complain every time. Kosovo. He will complain about everything. Is that the kind of people you are hanging around with now? You have to change the people you hang around with. Your association matters so much. Associate now with people who have the same vision as you are. Associate with people that have gone through the challenge. It is very terrible if you are facing a challenge and then you are going to hang around with people who are facing the same challenge with you. Listen, you just lost your job and then you are going to hang around with people who have lost their job, who just lost their jobs also. These are the people that you are hanging around with. Tell me, what kind of advice are you likely to get? What kind of words are you likely to get? You are having challenge in your marriage. You are having a challenge with your husband or with your wife. And the people that you are hanging around with in the beer parlor, the people that you hang around with in the bar, the people that you hang around with in the club, the people that you hang around with in the gym, they are the same people that are having challenges. So when you come, how far? You hope say they manage the woman. Those are the people you're hanging around with. You be careful. Who are the men around you? You must consciously change your circle of influence. Consciously change your circle of influence. Now, when you talk about your totality, totality is the total, your environment, the total sum of the things that makes you up. Because when you are talking about your totality, you are talking about your environment, you are talking about social, physical environment and everything. You know, is like when I say you are born in a Jebuland, and your father is a Jebusite, your mother is a Jebusite. I mean, from Jebu now. All right. Now, the day you were born, a Chinese man adopted you and took you to China. What language will you be speaking now? You'll be speaking Chinese, because that is the environment. So you will say that it's not, you say, I'm a typical what? No, you don't want to change. No, I don't take nonsense. I don't take nonsense from anybody. No. You must be able to take nonsense. You must be able to take nonsense. That does not belittle you. It brings out the best in you. Make up your mind. Oh, my only challenge in my life is I'm always getting angry. When I get angry, I can scatter anything. When I get angry, I can, I can't control myself. Be careful. Remember, anger. In the word anger, there's what you call, if you add D to the word anger, it gives you danger. In some marriage, it's just anger. Business relationship is anger. Your business partner offended you, you got angry, bam. Something, just anger. Just put D in front of anger, becomes danger. But if you make up your mind that no matter what they say, no matter what happens, I've made up my mind, I'm not going to be angry. You know, I live in a city in Nigeria called Lagos. And I've been in the city for over maybe, I don't know how many years now, 20 years or thereabout. And I drive. And somebody said, it's difficult for you to drive in the city of Lagos without getting angry. That is not possible. How can you drive in Lagos and you not get angry? And I tell them, I said, by the grace of God, I've never been angry driving in Lagos. Is it that I'm so good in driving and so gentle? No. You know what? Just a day, I just said, I know the kind of my person and things. And I said, come, I don't want a situation where anger is going to affect me, affect my relationship with God. And I said, I'm not going to be angry. How am I going to do it? Sometimes people will drive you rough. Sometimes you will drive rough for somebody. Anything can happen. I remember there was a day I was coming out, some years ago, I went to give my car a facelift. Just finished from oven bake. And I was driving out of the mechanic, the Panabita shop, fresh. And I was saying, this one, at least I spent some money. And just as I drove out, this yellow bus came. The guy couldn't just wait. And that is how he just dragged the paint, new painting. As I was, you don't need to see it before you know the extent of my damage, because when you are hearing grrr, oh my God, I parked. But the moment I opened the door, as I was going out to meet the guy, that spirit said, Shola, you are in charge. You are in charge. You are in charge. Don't let anger be in charge. This thing is so fast. What I'm telling you came so fast. You are in charge. By the time I said, because I always say I'm in charge, and that's what I always tell myself. I'm in charge. Anger is not in charge of me. I'm in charge. So as I came out, when that thing came, I saw the guy. I came out. I said, what is this? I wanted to start. That thing will continue hammering it. You are in charge. You are in charge. You are in charge of your emotion. You can choose to be angry. You can choose to laugh. You can choose. Is your choice. Is your choice. And that thing was just hammering me. And then I just look at the guy. Everybody in the bus came back down, you know, in their usual culture. It began to double, everybody prostrating and begging and begging and begging. Oh, I looked at it. I said, okay. I took my car and left. Ah, are you a fool? You will have made him to pay. You should have done this. That is my choice. So one of the things that I did was, or what I normally do is, when I'm driving and somebody is driving rough by my side, I choose never, ever to look at the face of the next driver. I don't. That's why some people say, I was waving to you, you didn't see me. I said, I won't see you, because one of the things that I used to discipline myself, because I have noticed that what is the trigger point for anger when driving? When somebody drives a rough and you look at the person will do you something like this, as if your head is not correct. You too will say, your head is not correct. The next thing you are doing, and you are now abusing. But I found that the moment my eyes did not meet with the person, I'm in control. So I chose that. Now, you might have your own strategy, how you used to control things. But what I'm saying is this, it's your choice. Now, so that we can just, I don't want it to be more than this. I target 45 minutes for this talk. Now, you know, somebody said, you know, it might be difficult to live life just like that and things. That, how do you want me to live life with this thing, with this situation that is going on around me, with this thing? My spouse is a drunk. My husband is a womanizer. In fact, he got married to another person. Or my business partner cheated on me, and things. You know, to sum it up, the Word of God told us something. You know, I always say there's nothing you want to talk about life issues without being spiritual. You know, the Word of God told us something. He said, guard your heart diligently, for out of it flow the issues of life. Guard your heart diligently. So I want to guard my heart, to be careful. What are the things that goes in my heart? The things that goes into your heart, remember what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you feel. Those are the things that form your thoughts. So the first thing that you as a person must do to be able to face life challenge, to be able to face business challenges, is to guard your heart. Feed your heart with things that will make that situation to be false. Things that will not affirm the situation that you are facing. Things that will make you to overcome. So guard your heart diligently, for out of it flow the issues of life. When you sit down, the things that you are thinking about are the things you've seen, are the things that people have told you. Liar, I will not. Somebody, you see, and you take it. Ladies and gentlemen, when you guard your heart, finally, it says finally, final bus stop, brethren, ladies and gentlemen, finally, ladies and gentlemen, whatsoever things are true. You know, there's this club we have, I think it's the Rotary Club, you know, the 4 Rotary rules. They say, that thing, is it the truth? Is it the truth? That thing that you are talking, is it the truth? Some of us, we've acted on things that are not even the truth. He said, whatsoever things are true, you must ask yourself, this situation, is it the truth? What I'm going through, is it the truth? If God said, I am healed, that's the truth. It is true that the body is feeling sick. That is a fact. But the truth, he said, I choose to believe the word of God. Choose to believe what God has said concerning me. It is a fact that there's no money in my bank account. But the truth is that I am rich because I choose to believe what the word of God says concerning me. That is the truth. So don't allow other people's opinion to determine your own reality. People say because you don't have money in your pocket, you are poor. That is people's opinion. That is people's opinion. But you know that you are not poor. You are not poor. Do you sitting down with me there and do you think you are poor? Let me ask you, your eyes that you are using to watch me now, how much, if I say sell your eyes to me, how much are you going to sell it? How much will you sell those eyes? Somebody needs a kidney transplant. How much are you ready to sell your kidney? I'm just even talking about your body. Soul says you are poor. As long as your soul remains, you are not poor. You have not just found the right thing. You have not just thought of the right thing to do. That you are sick. COVID-19, people are dying, but some people are getting healed. So what is true? Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, is this thing that I'm doing, is it honest? My relationship with my wife, am I honest? My relationship with my husband, am I honest? Is this situation the honest situation? If nothing, if nobody is there, is this the way I will have done it? Whatsoever things are just, the way you are treating that boy, the way you are treating that housemaid, the way you are treating that person, your class, your employee, is it just? He said, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure. Going to sexual immorality, is it pure? Dating another man's wife, is it pure? Is it pure? Depriving somebody of his wages, is it pure? In your own heart, when you close the door behind yourself, will you say, yes, what I've done is good? He said, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. If somebody else hears about what you have done or what you are about to do, are they going to say it's a good report? In your relationship, in your business, how you are doing it now, how you are handling it. If we are to open the windows of your heart and we are to screenplay what is going on in your heart, are we going to say it's a good report? He said, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, that when even God will say, well done, my son. Let's say you are in that act, what you are about to do, what you are doing. You pray, everybody prays to live long life. But I tell people, it's not everybody that will live as long as we all desire. The young are dying, the old are dying. The rich are dying, the poor are dying. What matters is eternity. What is eternity? The eternity is defined as a lifetime of a God that never dies. The lifetime of a God that never dies. That's what is called eternity. Somebody who rightly said, he said, if you take a bucket to fetch water from the ocean and you are emptying it somewhere, he said the number of years that it will take you to empty the ocean, that is like a second in eternity. So I tell people, I said, that is not the principal thing. The principal thing is, where will you spend eternity? So you ask yourself, and this is the report card. This is how God designed you to think. You say, I don't even know what to think about. You are thinking about to lose your job. Is that what you should be? Is it a just report? You are thinking, you are afraid. Oh, if we resume now, how am I going to survive? Is it good report? Is it just? Where will I spend eternity? That is what I want to think about. That's what I want to think about. So if I say I'm going to live 100 years, if I never get to live 100, if I live lesser, is it what will I get there? And God will say, yes, well done, my son. I think it said, think of these things. Please don't ever join people to say, I don't know what to think about. No, you know what to think about. God has given you a guideline on what to think about. And remember, as a man thinketh in his heart, I want you to connect these things, ladies and gentlemen, connect it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. And as he continues to think, so he will continue to be. So now, if you are going to be successful, if you are going to win that challenge, if you are going to get that marriage back, if you are going to get that child back, if you are going to win that period of no job, if you are going to get your business back, he said, don't think of the difficulties. Don't think about the challenges. He said, what you should be thinking are the pure things. What you should be thinking are the lovely things. Don't think about your inabilities. That's why I say, let the poor say, I am rich. I want to think like a rich person. Let the sick say, I am healed. I don't want to think like a sick person. I want to think like a healed person. He said, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise. He said, think of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you will win life challenges, whether you will win life battles, everything is dependent on how you think. I want you to take that word. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. So if as a man thinks in his heart, so he is, and he has told me, he said, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are of good report, he said, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, he said, these are the things I should think of. I'm not going to be thinking of, being broke. I'm not going to be thinking that, oh, God, why me? Why me? All my mates are married. Why me? I'm not yet married. All my mates have built houses. Why me? Oh, all my mates, their children are in school. They are this. I'm yet to have one. Why me? Why you continue to look? Are those things praiseworthy? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is, and so he will continue to be, except he changes his thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful time sharing this word with you. And I know for sure that one or two persons have benefited from this. I told you from the beginning, we are going into a new era. You've never faced it before. There are some of us that have never faced the challenge of not being able to pay the rent. Oh, before the rent is due, you've paid. You even pay children's school fees 3 years ahead. But things are changing. Things are changing. Are you prepared for the change? Are you prepared for the change? Think of it. Begin to prepare your mind. Nobody wants any challenge. Nobody prays for evil. Nobody prays for something. No. I went through something. I'm going through something recently. Oh, my father, I just lost my father-in-law. And in this period, we didn't think about it. We never planned it's going to be, but it has come in this situation. What are we going to do? It is. Oh, it must be. No. There's a new way of doing things. Wake up to the reality. Prepare your mind for it. And as you prepare your mind for it, I tell you, nothing will take you unawares. Nothing and nothing is permitted to take you unawares. Nothing is permitted to take you unawares. But it depends on how you build your mind. How you build your mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful. I'm always looking forward to every Sunday to just have a word to share with us. And by the grace of God, we continue. I've been trying to discipline myself to see if I can be having small, short videos, as word of encouragement to help people in this period. Just put up words. As I told you, we are in this together. Your experience, my experience. Maybe there's a way I can work with you. Maybe there's a way I can talk. You have challenges in your marriage. You have challenges in your business. We can talk it over. We can talk it over. You can just go on our Facebook page. You can give me a direct message. You can, get in touch with me one way or the other. I'll be willing to share with you. If there's going to be a listening ears, if you've never had one, I want to tell you by the grace of God, God has made me a listening ears to you. I'll be ready to listen to you. I'll be able to share. I'm not saying I have solution to all the problems, but we can talk it over. We can talk it over and we can get it done with. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great privilege. I'm going to be posting this on Facebook, on YouTube. Just go click on like, copy it, and share it with somebody that you think needs some words of encouragement. On YouTube is Shola Popson, Solapopson, Shola Popson. Please like the page and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell thing around it. You understand? And on on Facebook, you can like it and share it with your friends also. For you that want to maybe private chat and you want us to have maybe a private discussion to help us move ahead, there's a contact. That's a contact, Olushola Pokuola, and the number is 0, just as it is on the screen. On Instagram, on this is at Shola Popson. And it's I'll be glad to share. Remember, your secret is your secret, and by my profession, we'll be keep it confidential as much as you want it. I love to share with you, and I know God will give us solutions together. Once again, your friend and partner, fun pleasure being with you. Hoping to see you again on the channel. Invite your friends next week, and it's going to be another wonderful session. God bless you. Do have a fantastic week, a prosperous one, a winning one, where all challenges are subdued. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye.